Now joining us now is a fire prevention engineer, Jumade Adejola. It's nice to have you join us right now.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, when we talk about the issue of fire outbreaks, it's not new to our markets, it's not new to some of the homes around Lagos and in parts of the country. But how to prevent them is something that we have not really paid very keen attention to. In a home or in a market or in an office, for instance, what should be the first thing anyone should know in preventing fire?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me first of all say this. When it comes to the fire prevention, it's everybody's responsibility. Carelessness is not an excuse when it comes to the issue of fire. Because everybody knows that immediately there's fire outbreak, there'll be damage. Therefore, if you need to keep what you value or what you have worked for over years, then you need to understand that carelessness should not be the order of the day. Now, having said that, when we look at what do we need to do as to prevent this fire, one thing we should understand is that what is even the fire that we're talking about? What causes the fire? And how does fire come to be? There are three agents that are present before you can have what they call fire. The first one is the fuel. Fuel can be in form of solid. And when we say solid fuel, something like paper, wood, whatever that is hard that can cause fire, like even sawdust. All these are solid fuel. Then we have oxygen. Oxygen, let me say, in the atmosphere, the composition of oxygen is about 21% of the total air in the atmosphere, which means oxygen is everywhere. As we are seated, we are breathing in oxygen. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Then the last one is the heat. When these three elements come together, then they're bound to be fire. Now, how do we now prevent it? You have known these three elements. Removal of one of these agents will put out fire automatically. And it will prevent it. Anyone.
Any one of the three?
Any one of these three.
Okay.
Either you remove the heat, you remove the oxygen, or you remove the fuel.
Okay.
They call it triangle of fire. Remove one, the whole fire will go out. That is why when you see a car burning, and you are able to reach out to the terminal of your battery, if you remove it, that tire becomes powerless. Because what you have done, you have removed the heat of that fire. Now, I will advise everybody, in our home, most especially everybody using generator now. You have bought fuel. Even if you don't buy fuel, you don't have, most of us have fuel tank.
Yeah.
Already there is fuel.
Okay.
We already have oxygen. Don't allow heat to come near.
To come in, okay. Engineer Adejola, we, for want of time, we're going to put it on hold now, but this conversation is going to continue because there's a lot we all have to know when it comes to preventing fire. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And joining us now is a fire prevention engineer, Engineer Jumade Adejola. It's nice to have you join us right now.
Thank you, Daniel.
Great. Now, there is the understanding that there are about three elements that cause or encourage fire to be present in anywhere. You talk about the solid fuel.
The fuel?
Fuel, which could be solid or semi-solid, however way it is.
Liquid.
Or, exactly.
Liquid,
Or oxygen and then
Heat.
Heat, exactly. Now, you also told us that if you take any one of this one out of the circle or out of the triangle, as the case may be, you can put out the fire.
Automatically.
But understanding this triangle and all of that may be a little scientific for people who have either gone to school and who are very educated. But if we narrow it down to someone, to an average market woman or market person or a trader and all of that, they may not understand this, triangle.
Yeah. Now, let me come back to that.
Okay.
You see, why I started with that is just to let you have the basic knowledge of what fire really is.
Okay.
Then, when you come down to the layman, look at what we call the housekeeping, where there's proper housekeeping, where everywhere is neat. You don't have rubbles. you don't keep what you don't need.
Okay.
Majority of people just keep anything and pile it up. Then, in a situation where you in a market, for example, you make sure that your passage or where you sell are properly maintained and clean. The reason is that when there is fire outbreak, one, it will be easier for you to escape. Okay. Then secondly, there won't be anything to aid its spread. Now, to not prevent this fire, first thing you must know is this. Basically, what we normally have to cause fire, like we have said, carelessness. Do we store liquid fuel in our store or in our houses? Do we store liquid fuel at the trunk of our cars? Do we store liquid fuel in a store improperly kept? Now, if you take this one out, definitely, like I said, you have taken fuel out. For you to have fire, to be very difficult. Then, another thing again that normally causes fire is this improper wiring of the homes.
Oh.
People use just anything. They will say, this cable is too expensive. I have to use what I have. Whereas, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Because most of these cable, they get heated up and then cause
Spark fire anytime.
anytime.
Engineer Adejola, let's quickly address kitchens now are notorious. That's where we cook.
Yes.
But then the issue of fire has been rather rampant lately. Before it seemed normal to take your phone, but now it's a no-no. Is it a general no-no, or the gas cylinder is what you need to change, or could be the culprit? What do you think?
No, you don't need to. You know, even the gas cylinder we are talking about, there are some gas cylinders that are not even what you should use anyway.
Some have expired.
Some have expired. So you need to buy your gas cylinder from the reliable dealers. There are so many reliable dealers that are selling this gas cylinder which you have to buy. Then you don't need to put your gas cylinder inside the kitchen. The gas cylinder has to be outside. The reason is that when there is any fire in the kitchen, the gas, if it's exploded or anything, the gas will just go into the air. But if your gas cylinder is inside, it's confined already. The disaster will be too much. It can even cause explosion. The whole house can explode. That's why the gas cylinders are advised to be kept outside your kitchen. Then you must always have detection systems. Even if it is just battery-operated smoke alarms, put it in your kitchen in case of any fire incident or smoke.
But if you put smoke detectors in the kitchen,
yes,
like she was talking about kitchen cooking, where there's always smoke from the frying of chicken and frying of akara and all of that, wouldn't it be triggering?
Yeah, there's what they call the heat detector.
Okay.
You know, we have two types of detectors. We have the smoke detector, we have the heat detectors. Okay. In the kitchenette, what you use is heat. Okay. Because of the high, the rate of the rate of rise of the heat. So what you put is just to put the heat detector in the kitchen. Okay. Then outside the kitchen, you put the smoke detector. Because this one will really help you to be aware when there's an incident.
I see. That's really interesting.
Really interesting. So
I like the kitchen part.
Yes.
I can see where
then, just to quickly add this, I would advise that you have what they call the blanket, fire blanket. Okay. Because most of the fire in the kitchen are caused by the deep fryers.
So that's above. The blanket is where?
The blanket, you just hang it. Immediately there's a fire, you can remove it. You need to cover your fry pan or anything.
And the light goes off?
It goes off.
Wow.
Do you know what you have done? Where you cover it, you've taken off.
Oh, yeah. That was the first formula.
Yes.
Really interesting. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, the other issue there is when there is fire already, it wasn't prevented, there's now fire. How to go about, there's usually panic when there is fire already, but what should be considered in such circumstances?
You see, when there is fire, the first thing is escape. Okay. You know,
Safety first.
Safety first. You know, I told you about the housekeeping. I always advise people everybody in the house, you must teach your children, yourself, the way of escape. You must know your way of escape, because if you don't know that, when immediately there's fire incident, you'll not be able to escape. Then another thing again is that we have firefighters. For crying out loud, there's some fire we cannot put out. Leave the work for the professionals. And when they come, people have this idea.
Away.
They should stay away. They have the idea of even disturbing the responder that have come to tackle this.
In the name of helping.
In the name of helping. They will attack them most of the time, which is very, very bad. These people have come to do their work. You are attacking them. You don't need to attack them. Allow them to do their work and give them way. And it is very funny. You see people taking photographs just to go viral. And,
That's the trend right now.
That's the trend. Okay.
All right, we have to leave it here now. Engineer Jumadi Adejola, thank you so much for your insight into this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right.